Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Maurya, and today's session I have prepared for some of the information regarding the disk space in UC server, or I can say the publisher node or subscriber node or call manager nodes. How you can verify how many space are available on that node, or how can you can clean it up in your call manager nodes, right? So why I have prepared these sessions? Because recently when I was doing the upgrade of our call manager, I was trying to upload one of the latest file, CUCM version 14, and I was getting one error that the space is not available on the server, right? So that's why I noted that point and created this document for you, right? So let me start this session. So let me give you the brief what exactly I'm talking about. So you can see that the issue descriptions I have mentioned that during the call manager upgrade, uh, this error was prompted, right? There is no enough disk space in the common partition to perform upgrade, right? So before that, I hope you are having some information how we have to upgrade the system, right? I have created one session on the call manager upgrade from 12 to 5, 12 version to 14 version. You can just review that, right? Where I have mentioned how we can download the files from the Cisco site and upload it into the OS administration, right? And then what are the procedure uh, to upgrade our call manager. So this documents or this uh, session is like what challenges I faced. Like this is one of the challenge you might face whenever you trying to upgrade your call manager, right? And before what I can suggest you, just try this uh, the upload the file before your change window, because if you add more steps or you encounter some challenges while upgrading your call manager, it will take some time to remediate those things, right? So what you have to do, you just follow some of the pre-work before your actual change time or date, so that you can save your time over there, right? So here you can see this is the prompt which I received, right? And then I logged into the CLI mode of that call manager node, that publisher node, and here I can see that disk logging space, it was around 91%, right? That's the reason it was throwing this error that there is no enough space uh, on this node, right? On the common partitions, right? So if you run this command, shows status, right? And before that, you have to log into the CLI mode of particular node, and you must have the credential for that, because some organizations they are having different password for uh, OS, right? And it might be different as compared to your admin password, administrator password of the GUI. So you should have those prior to upgrade or prior to log into your CLI, right? uh, so that's the reason it was not, I was getting this prompt that space is not available. So the best way is to clean up the logging space, right? And for that there is method, and that is removing the or purging the files from the logging, and that we can do from the RTMT tools, that is real time monitoring tool. So there is some definitions. We have to set the value of the high watermark and the low watermark over there, right? So let me read it out for the definition first. So log partition, actually there is two log partitions. One is the log partition high watermark, and otherwise log partition for the low watermark, right? So as per the definitions, this says this event indicates that the percentage of used disk space in the log partition has exceeded the configured high watermark, right? So in the systems, we by default there are some value. For high watermark, its default is 95%, right? And if the disk is full for the high watermark above the 95%, you you have, I mean, there is some alerts for that, right? On the other side, the log partition low watermark exceed, this says that this event indicates the percentage of used disk space in the log partition has exceeded the configured low watermark. The threshold percentage value for both event could be configured in RTMT based on the your requirement, right? And the by default, as I was saying, that high watermark is set to 95 and low watermark is set to 90%, right? So if any one of the uh, watermark exceed, like if high watermark exceed 95%, it will create an trigger, right? And also if the low watermark is more than 90%, it will create a trigger for you, right? So what, this is a default value, right? And if this is full, you will see that disk space is high. And why it is more, I mean, exceeding, might be you have taken the capture the logs, or by default system is capturing the logs which is not required. In that case, the logging partition get full, right? So that's why it is reflecting like this. So sometime in a situations are sorry, so let me read it out my uh, note. So it says that sometime a situation arise for certain activities like call manager upgrade where there is insufficient space in the logging partitions and additional space is needed, right? During such event, additional space could be created in the logging partition by adjusting the threshold value of high watermark and low watermark, right? And when the threshold value of high watermark is lowered, it purges all log file, thereby creating additional disk space in the logging partitions. I hope this is clear. I mean, if there is a low watermark and high watermark, and if we reduce the value from 95 to, let's say, 20 or 30, it will purge all the files which is there in sitting there in the log partition, right? Same way we have to reduce the from 90 to some other value. Okay, so procedure to remove to purge or adjust the watermark. Here is the steps. So adjust low watermark first. So launch RTMT. I hope you have the RTMT tools in your machine. You can download it from the GUI, right? I mean, in the GUI mode, you have to go to the advanced settings, advanced options, and there is an option for the downloads. You have to download it from there. If you are having Windows machine, Windows version is there. If you have Mac, so Mac version is also available over there. So launch RTMT tool, right? And log into the desired cluster, wherever you find this issue. You just and mention the IP address and the credential over there. On the left pan, navigate system, tools, and alert center. So system, tools, and alert center, right? So this is the alert center. Here you can see that uh, low partition low watermark exceeded, right? And low partition high watermark exceeded, right? So you have to click and first on the low watermark, click on do the right click and go to the set alert properties and click next. So you will see some definition over here, the IP address, right? And it says that this alert is occur when log partitions watermark exceed event is generated. This indicates the percentage of used disk space in the log partition has exceeded the configured value, low watermark value, right? And recommendation action is it says check if the configured low watermark for used disk space in the log partition is too low, and also please examine each application trace logs file and clean up those that are too old or too big before used disk space exceed the high watermark. So it says that you have to verify, you have to be make sure that all log files will be deleted if you are performing this change. And by default low watermark is set to 90. You can see over here it's 90, right? A log partition used disk space exceed low watermark is 90, it is set. So you have to reduce it or set the low watermark to lower value based on your requirement and then click next. So as we need to clean the disk space, I have reduced it from 90 to 10%, right? So it will purge all the files which are there in the partition, right? Click next. Here you can apply some threshold values or trigger points, right? Click next. If you need to configure email notification, you can configure that also, like if there is any alert or the log partition is exceeding 90% or 95%, you will get the email notification. But for that, if you have to first integrate your call manager with SMTP server, right? So this way, and then after doing the low watermark uh, setup, you have to also adjust the value for high watermark uh, event, right? So the procedure is same. You have to click on the high watermark, click on set an alert property, right? The same definitions, similar definitions, like this alerts occurs when the log partition low watermark exceeded. Okay, I think I have pasted the information for the log partition, but high mark exceeded event is generated. This indicates that the percentage of the used disk space in the log partition has exceeded the configured high watermark, right? So as of now, by default it is set as 95, right? Set the high watermark to a lower value based on your requirement and then click next. So I have reduced it to 15, so it will purge all the files which are there in the log partition, uh, laying to lowest value, right? The alerting system, if you want to configure, right, once you do it, you have to wait for a few minutes or maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes. After that, you can verify it. So verify steps is the additional disk space is created in the logging partition after you adjust high watermark and low watermarks. It can verify through the show status commands on the CLI on the call manager, right? So if you can see over here, I have run the show status command, and here you can see that it's reduced from 90% to 36%, right? And after few more minutes it reduced to 26%. As seen in the show status outpost, the percentage value of the used disk space logging has changed from 36 to 26%. Okay, so that's how you can reduce the uh, or increase the size of your logging partition, right? So some organizations are may have this, they do this activity on the regular basis, might be 6 months or after a year. If you are having 6 7 cluster, right, and you need to clean up or make your system as a redundant or robust, you can plan it to remove the logging partitions after certain intervals, right, that you can discuss within your team, that uh, there is a use space or logging files are there in the systems which we are not using. We can reduce that, right, and plan it like maybe 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, right. So this type of hygiene activity you can perform in your environment. I hope you like this session. If you have any queries or questions, just do let me know. And if you need any further informations or any specific topics which you want me to cover, just mention on the comments. I will prepare that documents for you. And I hope you like the sessions. I have just shared the screenshot so that it will be helpful uh, and make use proper use of the time, because if I log into the RTMT, it take around 3 to 4 minutes to go each and every tabs and show you the actual screen, right. And so that's what I just took the cap of screenshot and copied it over here, so that it will save the time for you and me also, and for everyone, right. Thank you. Thanks. Please like and subscribe this channel. That will helps me to prepare more channels. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.